Good morning, everyone. My name is Practitioner Officer. Association.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Oran, Executive Committee Analyst in the Zimbabwe Business Association.
Good morning, everyone. My name is
Morning, everyone. I am National Chairperson of Cross-Border Community Development.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zita Matonda, CFO, Gay Cash and Carry.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Innocent Siwaji from Countries. Good morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Chief Moses from Zimbabwe.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. My name is Margaret Mulu from Zimbabwe Business.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Roro Wanda. I'm the CEO of the Consumer Protection Commission.
Good morning. Professor Chair from South Cross-Border for India. Inside here is freedom of speech. As long as you don't infringe on other people's rights, you are protected by privileges and immunities of parliament, as stated in Section 148 of the Constitution. So, as we make our submissions, as we ask our questions, we all know that we are covered by the privileges and immunities of Parliament. Now, stop you, then those members should also go through the process of taking an oath. I've taken note of the institutions that are here. The CZETA, as represented by Dr. Mtashu, and under CZETA we also have got institutions like Delta, Zimbabwe, and Richards, Megaset, SPAR, Teachers, Gain, Food Industry, Mohamed Musa is also here, TV Sales, Cross-Border for ED, Consumer Protection Commission, and we have got submission that has been sent by CZI and ZNCC. If your institution has not been covered, please let us know. I assume I've managed to capture. So we go through the process now of taking oath.
Sorry, Chair, we also have retailers associations.
For the process of taking oath, so we are going to be guided by our committee clerk.
I, Edward Natasha, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, David Masonere, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Ashok Noel, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Prevailing, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, David Chanora, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Margaret Mungu, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Chiwuri Moses, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
I, Zitama Twanga, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
I, Tinem Chief of that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Honorable Chair, I think we also have Mohammed Musa, who go under
I, Samir Bakir, affirm that evidence I will give is the truth and nothing else but the truth.
I, Cornelius, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me.
I,
So help me God.
I, Jane Wabanam, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, say that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God. I, that longer, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much. I'm sure all the critical stakeholders have taken an oath. As I've already alluded to earlier on, this is a normal system of parliament where all those who are going to make submissions are protected by the parliamentary privileges and immunities. Let me acknowledge Dr. Dure, the other stakeholders. Yeah, I think we will explain the whole day in introduction. I think we will get started. Yeah, why we are here. We are the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Industry and Commerce. And we have called you stakeholders to understand the insights on the challenges that are affecting you, challenges that are dribbling the sector, the retail and wholesale sector. So this comes after we got so many reports in terms of the state of the country's formal retail and wholesale sector. We met as a committee to deliberate on this last week, and we said, as a committee, we play an oversight role in terms of how policies should be directed at executive level, how policies should be directed even at your level. And we said, we would want to understand the issues that are affecting the sector. And this is primarily when you look at the ease of doing business, We have heard that for some supermarkets, shelves have gone empty. And there are some challenges that you may not know. But for us to be able to represent you as stated in our constitution, we should understand your problems. And the other issue that we also want is there are some interventions that have been done by the fiscal authorities. And the complementary measures have been put in place by the monetary authorities. And all this is meant to make sure that we are going to have a robust and thriving retail and wholesale sector. And these are the issues that we want to look at to say, how best can we go forward as a country? We would want to make sure that you provide the services that you are meant to provide. And for us as Parliament, we are worried. We would want to see you thriving. As a committee would have failed if the sector that is constituting industry and commerce is not thriving. So this is why we called you here. And we are not going to have all your full presentations. What is needed is for you to have an abridged version of your presentation. And then you submit your written paper. So we are going to start with let me start with the CZI. Dr. Dewey, are you ready? The institution that they are representing, your understanding of the problems, the challenges that are there, the possible solutions. And the honorable members, they will come in here and there. But for us, we would want to collect evidence. And in terms of the roadmap, when we are done here, we will come up with a report. We are also going to visit some places, and we are going to be informed by our deliberations here. And after that, I think we may call the Minister of Finance, Minister of Industry and Commerce, and maybe the government, depending on what is going to come out from our deliberations. So it's over to you, Dr. Dewey.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Honorable. Allow me to observe all protocol in the House. My name is Zimbabwe, and the Chief Economist and Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, CZI. First of all, let me give apologies from the CZI President, as well as the CZI President, Mr. Champion, as well as the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, both of them are currently out of the
to provide the service that is needed for the economy to grow, they need foreign currency. And when they get foreign currency, either they get it on the foreign market, or they also try as much as possible to sell the USD in the foreign market, and they get the same USD at the official market, and thereby make arbitrage gains. So I think, those are most of the problems that I talked about. If we go to a problem in what we think is probably the solution. First of all is the volatile exchange rate, which keeps on depreciating. And we believe that our proposal is that we should at least continue to implement a true market determined exchange rate. But that exchange should accompanied by tight liquidity conditions with zero tolerance towards borrowing from other business for an fiscal deficit, whilst at the same time ensuring that we also support our manufacturing sector to grow. In other words, we are saying we should see growth, we should try as much as possible to reverse the structural that is happening in ensure that manufacturing takes a central role in the growth of the economy. Then we also have the challenge of the enforced official exchange rate, which we believe is a de facto price control. We all know that when the USD prices in the supermarkets, they go to ridiculously high prices, simply because of FIU. The businesses will be trying as much as possible to avoid being prosecuted by FIU. What happens is that if service providers supply products, they supply products to our retailers, they use their payments, they put a premium in the index that price in our market exchange rate. I'm talking about suppliers. So what it simply means that when the retailers are also selling music, they also have to use that same price. They also put a markup in order to make a return. But if the USD price remains the same, that means the implied exchange rate becomes close to the foreign market. So to avoid prosecution from the FIU, they also increase the USD price. So our proposed solution is that the FIU should stop forcing informal businesses to comply with the fixed official exchange rate, as this results in price distortions, but should allow businesses to price where competition would require. In other words, we believe that the unfair competition that we see between the formal and the informal sector is simply on USD prices, simply because the informal sector can price at any USD price that they want, but the formal businesses don't have that privilege to price at any price in terms of USD. Then the other thing I mentioned is the high cost of regulations. We know that currently businesses are struggling, the regulatory authorities have a fixed template. They still expect businesses to comply. This happens regardless of whether they are making a profit or not. In fact, we currently believe that the regulatory authorities combined are actually collecting more from businesses than treasury. Because treasury gets corporate tax and the governments can declare losses and they don't get anything. But regulatory authorities are just getting anything. They're just getting regardless of the performance of the businesses. From our survey, we established that for manufacturers, about 18% of their overheads are regulated compliance costs. We're talking about compliance here, not fines. Otherwise, even if you've not done anything wrong, you still need to comply with this regulator. So our proposal, we believe that if we really want to make a start and change this economy, there should be a presidential directive to the whole economy regarding ministries, agencies, and departments, and all regulatory authorities to reduce one that is responsible for the current way of establishing that opportunity, but government is also not paying businesses for services provided, that is contractors. So what it simply means is that whether the business is paid or not, that's because the invoice has been done, Zimbabwe charges tax, and Zimbabwe collects tax from businesses that are owed by government for transactions that have not yet taken place. As a result of this, working capital constraints are affecting business because Zimbabwe issues accounts, even if they are owed by government. So our proposal for this is, we know that Zimbabwe collects on behalf of the government. The government is the one that is owing to businesses. We believe that there's a way through the Ministry of Finance can be done, so that the case owing for transactions that are conducted through government, which is also not paying, can be offset against that. So in other words, the Ministry of Finance wants tax from companies that have provided a service which the Ministry of Finance itself has not released the resources to pay them. It had not been offset against that. So in other words, Zimbabwe is immune to the current liquidity challenges when businesses are not immune to it. So I just wondering if it is possible. More of the Zimbabwe that's enforcing the law. I believe that Treasury can do something about it. As far as Zimbabwe is concerned, the law is there, the transaction happens, the collect, the current is whether they have paid or not. Then the issue of growing informalization, honorable members, we believe that it's not, informalization is simply a symptom. Of course, the measures that are being done to try to force the informal sector to comply, they are reacting to symptoms rather than the actual causes. So we believe that if the issue of FIU and price control through the fixed exchange rates are addressed, and if the heavy tax compliance burden from the various regulatory authorities are addressed, and taxes on charges on electronic transactions are reduced, the informal sector can coexist with the formal sector. So we believe that probably instead of trying to go around chasing the informal sector, they might even go underground further. So these exercises, they are okay, we are able with them, but they also need to be done concurrently with the measures that are done to ensure that at least there are some incentives for compliance. Also, we believe that it's not informal sector that is responsible for the
manufacturers and sell to the informal sector. This can even produce a tax compliance certificate, it's possible. But the products from the local manufacturers can be seen in the informal sector, and the conclusion can be done that they were supplied directly by the manufacturers. So in actual fact, they just found a way of ensuring that their products are there. In addition to that, they can just take advantage of the arbitrage opportunities in terms of the exchange rate. They go and swipe in ZIC from the retail and the wholesale markets, and then go and sell exclusively in USD in the informal sector. So we are saying, whilst there is a lot of direct selling to the informal sector that is happening, there are mechanisms that are already there in the first place. For example, you put a 5% premium collecting on behalf of Zimbabwe. But we also put that the concept of selling directly to the informal sector itself is not as pronounced might not be as bad as it is portrayed, because the informal sector itself will always find products. You are likely to see the Western problem of manufacturers from this direction. And then there was a requirement that government should procure goods and services from local suppliers. We believe that this is long overdue. It has been said for a very, very long time. Probably what has been lacking is the necessary legislation to make this enforceable. So our proposal is that there should be an agency, special instrument that compels government to buy a prescribed threshold of its procurement from local affairs. We also believe that this is a noble initiative. So briefly, hopefully I will take much of time. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chube. The honorable members, I know we came to listen, hear what the stakeholders are saying, but obviously you may have points, clarifications. Are there any interventions following up on the presentation by Dr. Chube? Honorable Ngwe.
Okay. On regular funding, I think he didn't specify clearly. He said just mentioned 80%. So I think he needs to explain further on that one. And then the high taxation also, if he can be specific, which taxes are high. I don't know, I think to specify what he said. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chube. If you can take note, just take note. That was this submission from Honorable Ngwe. Any other submissions? Yes, Honorable Maziwanika.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I want to question from the Chief Economist of State High with regard to the issue of the exchange determination by RBZ. He alluded to the fact that we deserve a true exchange determination mechanism by RBZ, a true market exchange determination mechanism. Can you maybe shed more light as to how this exchange is not market determined? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ngwe, as well. Dr. Chube, you mentioned in the conclusion that the situation, just in time to you, the situation here is such that someone can swipe in ZIG from the formal market and resell in exclusively in US dollar, taking advantage of the exchange rate volatility. With the current situation and the current monetary tight control that is there, that exists now, is this scenario still possible? Thank you so much, Honorable. Any other submissions of Honorable members?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I will start with let me try to respond to the issues in the order in which they came. The first issue is on the 80% total overrides. That one is a survey that we did in collaboration with World Bank. 18%, I would still stick to that work on quantitative easing. What does it say when you're productive as an industry? Are we productive now? If you are making recommendations to the executive, we need to make a balanced recommendations. In the sense that budgets come here to parliament, we struggle to allocate money to the various aspects of the government. And here we are. Most of the recommendations remove 2% tax, to reduce taxation, and all those things. What the treasury going to do? At the moment, they are underfunded, and if we reduce further all these taxes, we have further complicating the situation. Do you have any other recommendations that we can have to increase the revenue collection, to increase the foreign generation, so that we can achieve that equilibrium that everybody else wants? Thank you.
Yes, over to Dr. And I think it's in line with what you submitted when you said a growth is fueled by nature and also, and we are not seeing much on the national side. Yeah, very important.
Yes, perfectly. Actually, in fact, the identity, our argument is that whatever treasury believes it is collecting from identity is actually lower than the cost in terms of foregone revenue from the distortions that the sector entity is causing. So in other words, if you remove the identity, it does not follow that your tax collections are actually going to go down. They're actually going to go up simply because the entity is responsible for the formalization, and we all know that the corporate tax collections right now they are going down. They're not going up, they're actually going down significantly, especially at the moment is struggling, which is also where the pressure of trying as much as possible of dealing with the informal sector is concerned. In other words, what we are simply saying is that most of the measures that if what we are recommending here of saying let's not treat symptoms, let us focus more on ensuring that there are incentives for formalization, for formal businesses to operate. We are going to see that the cake is actually going to grow. In other words, this is actually one of the easiest way of growing your tax base by ensuring that measures that are promoting informality are addressed. And then the issue of saying, how we said on terms of liquidity management was related to saying, when we say it's liquidity management, when you get services from industry or from any business, and then you don't pay them, and you say you are managing liquidity. That is all what I was saying here to say, we see government businesses struggling, partly providing the service to government, and the government itself is owing. It's part of liquidity management, it's not paying contractors. So that is to say, if the government just pays the businesses, in the business that are being paid by manufacturers, they are not follow, they are going to see the exchange rate growing. Only this is why you always see growth. In fact, there is a dilemma at the moment of saying growth and stability appear to be mutually exclusive. If you pursue growth, we are going to see stability. So probably the best way is to reduce growth that way stability. It simply speaks to the structure of our economy, where growth is being driven by traders and runners who are all interested in playing around with arbitrage opportunities. So what we are suggesting is that let this growth be fueled by industrial production. The question was asked to say, is industry productive? At the moment, industry's productive part is not competitive. It's not competitive simply because 80% of your overheads are going to regulatory authorities as an example. Imagine what is left for the shareholder. Those shareholders, they are very limited shareholders whose business are getting a return of more than 10% return on investment. So it simply means that the main beneficiary at the moment, as currently structured from the business operations, are the regulatory authorities combined. Of course, combined, not necessarily combined. So I'm saying probably there is a room for us to prioritize manufacturing by ensuring that the issue of doing business is addressed, which will grow the cake in the quality more revenues.
some of the key challenges that have been raised by the members that are here. I will also give an opportunity to each one of the members to come through at the end of my presentation so that they can say one or two things around the issues that are raised here. The exchanges for activity is the retail and also sector has been significantly impacted by exchange of activity. The rebasing from ZWL is now busy in March, in April 2024, was followed by the substantial currency devaluation in September 2024. Both main operators of that. So this volatility has led to difficulties in competitive pricing. As unregulated players have become more attractive to our supply chains who are seeking increased USD inflows. And consequently, many suppliers have shifted towards selling directly to the informal sector, owing to a number of reasons. Of course, some have reported that some formal players are struggling to pay for the goods and services that they have procured, and they also go to the informal sector in order to bid or to track the US dollar, which is available in the informal sector. As the informal sector sells exclusively in USD. The formal sector embraced the ZIG on the 5th of April, and as an association, we went around encouraging the formalized players and even the informal players to embrace the ZIG, which we saw huge traction from the formalized players. Challenges began, Honorable Chair, when the revenue collected by formalized players to the tune of 80% was in ZIG, and only 20% was in local, in USD. And yet, there were so many cost centers that were dollarized, including but not limited to stocks of procurement, fuel, owing to having to rely on generators due to incessant power shortages, power outages. And also an average of 55% of wages also got to be paid in USD. Rentals, Honorable Chair, the real estate sector, just like its fuel sector, is remained dollarized. You hardly find a room even for domestic purposes that you can be able to pay in the local currency. So both at domestic and commercial level, rentals are paid in USD. And these rentals have significantly been increasing in USD, putting more pressure on any business, whether formal or informal. Our recommendations is to improve the ZWG to enable manufacturers to participate effectively and meet their input requirements, and allow market forces to determine exchanges based on the demand for and supply of foreign currency. Further liberalization is very important in terms of ensuring that the supply of foreign currency is improved, and also the price determination is also improved. On taxation and IMTT, with observation of the need for government to also contribute to the tax, these are recommendations that the IMTT is set at 1% in USD and also removed in the local currency to promote ZIG circulation and reduce the cost of find some incentives for them that can actually be pull factors that are attractive for them to be able to formalize their establishments so that they cannot have this convenient free for all that is currently happening, which has impacted formalized players like the issue of regulations. It is also one key area in terms of the regulatory environment. I've got a list of compliance centers that the formalized player has got to meet, which has also been cited by the informal players as one of the reasons why they may not wish to come to be formalized. The list of licenses in the case of the city of Harare, the city of Harare shop licenses. We've got bakery, it costs $703 annually. Butchery, $649 annually. Fish monger, $649. Food purveyors, $649. Restaurant, $649. Takeaway, $649. Auto store, $504. Restaurant liquor, $504. Wholesale, $504. And we also have the shop license itself, $564. Health report, $575. Application fee for shop license, $720. Takeaway food shop, $1,218. And then we also have food factory, which is $2,300. This is annual. Liquor licenses from the Ministry of Local Government, the Bottle Store, which is $110 if you are in the supermarket. Wholesale, $800. Restaurant special, $350. Bottle Store, new application, $60. Temporary liquor license, $200. Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, ZTA license, $305. We also have got music and port rights from Zimbabwe Council of Port Rights, which are around $350. And in the Environmental Management Agency for generator emissions, $152. Generator emissions, $136. So we also have other compliance issues like food handler certificates, fire extinguishers, gas storage, fire brigade installation. So these are some of the regulatory and compliance centers, and our appeal is for them to be at least realigned or streamlined, or at least they reduced by 50% to also give breathing space for the formalized players that have had to shut down or to reduce their presence on the market. And it is also very important, Honorable Chair, that the key issues for the formalized players, one is the exchange rate. So we appeal to the Zimbabwean governor that if the exchange rate is completely liberalized, that on its own can actually allow them to compete with the informal players, because that is actually been happening before, and they've been able to compete with the informal players and price competitively. So in the absence of complete liberalization of exchange rate, possibly the governor may wish them to allow the formalized players to organize. So that those are the two options probably that we see as options that may bring back the formalized players, because it is not a good sight currently to go around and see empty shelves. For whatever reason, I know there have been some reasons that have been brought or allegations of mismanagement. I think about some of the players that are here who may actually answer themselves on those particular issues of allegations of mismanagement. But may I also touch on the issue of that was raised by the governor, the issue of the proliferation of shadow banks. So I think what we are seeing can only be at some point that it will begin to impact quite heavily on the formal banking institutions. So we believe that it is also very telling that there is a requirement for investigation on why the safe boxes have become safer for businesses and individuals to keep their money there instead of taking the money to the formal banking institutions. It is also the same reason, Honorable Chair, that we have also called on government to reduce the cost of transacting, the cost of banking, and promote savings, ensure that Zimbabweans can begin to grow their confidence with the formal banking system and begin to open accounts that they will not find what to offer before, even if they don't transact. So I believe the culture of saving for Zimbabwe can actually be a turning point, but it starts with promotion of ease of transacting via electronic transacting, via mobile, via swiping. And the economy is going largely cash, but we need to have strategy in a movement towards bringing the people back from cash transacting to electronic transacting. This is one of the reasons actually that may actually see the Ministry of Finance through Treasury being able to harness more fiscal revenue. So as an association, we believe that those are avenues that we can increase revenue inflows instead of increasing tax for businesses. And one of the avenues is also to ensure that the informal sector complies with taxation laws of the country. But our engagement with the informal sector is actually indicated that they are calling for a tired or tiered presumptive taxation model, or a tier system that is applied in Tanzania, which can actually be easier for them other than the current VAT one size fits all, or the fiscalization trajectory that the country is actually promoting. So if we do so, reduce the cost of compliance, also give an accommodative and favorable taxation environment for the small to medium enterprises, we believe that that can now level the playing field between the formal and the informal. We also wish to thank His Excellency President Dr. Edwin Nangaba for coming out of his leave to attend to our issues, and also the entire Presidium and the key cabinet ministers who were also part of that process. And yes, the measures that have been brought up, we are actually looking at them and saying, if we could only aid the issue of further liberalization of the exchange, then definitely the environment under which formalized players are trading currently can actually give them a better space. May I then ask each one of the members to come through just with one or two interventions before I would like to
Thank you so much, Chair. Those who form part of your constituency, the honorable members, you want to know the institution where they are coming from. I know they do their interventions, but as they make their interventions, they can state the institution where they are coming from. I think it's for assist. But we have raised not more than 4 minutes for each of the submissions. Because honorable members also want to ask questions.
Thank you, Chair. Start with the Richards.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Maybe just to start with the survey that was done by Zimstats in January 2024. They found that 62% of respondents in the retail and wholesale sector were in a poor financial position and they had no stock. I'm mentioning this to indicate that the problems that we are seeing now, the results that we're seeing now in the sector, branch closures, reduction of trading space, and so on, are not a recent occurrence that has happened in the last 2 or 3 months, but it's something that has been building up over time. collecting tax from more players rather than collecting more tax from players that are already paying tax. In other words, reduce the taxation level and the tax base, collect that tax from as many players as possible. In that way, we will not have a problem of fiscal mobilization. We actually believe we will pay more tax that way. We will be able to fund whatever government needs to fund. The last thing I would like to mention is on informality. When informal players interact with the formal sector, at the moment they're seeing distressed formal sector players. I believe as a nation we want informal players to become formal. But because of what they're seeing now, they are not seeing the incentive to become informal. So we need to shift our policy in such a way that it makes being formal more attractive to those that are informal, so that they shift in that direction. At the moment, it seems more attractive to go from formal into informal, which doesn't benefit the nation in any way. Last thing, sorry, Chair. There are links between sectors that we must not ignore. I think Dr. Batashi mentioned the issue of the shadow banks that the Reserve Governor was talking about. You will find that the formal retail and wholesale sector generally mobilizes cash and deposits them into the banking sector as per the Bank Use and Suppression of Money Laundering Act. And if that sector shrinks, that means the amount of deposits that are being mobilized of the banking sector reduce. This will affect the performance of the banking sector. And this will also affect perhaps the manufacturers as well, because they tend to have long-term requirements that need financing from that same banking sector. So it's not an isolated issue when retailers and wholesalers are in trouble. We also need to look at it at an economy-wide scale and address those issues through the whole chain. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chibudu Moses from SPA. Since I have 4 minutes, I will try to maximize on my 4 minutes. The first thing that I would like to bring to your attention, Honorable Chair, is the issue of VAT. Previously, we had zero-rated products that are now exempt. So effectively, that's a cost to business. I can use an example. When it was zero-rated, what it means is the supplier would not charge me VAT and I will not charge VAT. But now you come to a scenario whereby I will go and buy a bottle of water and I'm charged the VAT, but I cannot charge the same VAT to my customer, and that becomes a cost to business. And if I am to put maybe numbers to it, we are paying close to $100,000 a month just on exempt VAT, which I would recommend maybe as authorities if you can put in that tax head. The next thing that I would like to bring to your attention, Honorable Chair, is that it is now becoming more and more difficult for retail sector in terms of borrowing. We've been classified as high risk, and it is now becoming very, very difficult for these banks to lend you money. So that area, if we are to allow the retail sector to shrink more than where we are now, as a business, for the first quarter, for the last quarter, we wanted to close 5 branches, but we said maybe for now, let's go for 1 branch. Not that the other 3 are performing, they are not performing. Right now, as a business, Honorable Chair, we are running generators to the tune of 40 liters per hour, $80.50. And if you do the maths, it's real money per month. We are burning close to 180,000 liters of diesel per month just to run the stores. And that is very tired. My recommendation on that, maybe if you can get some interventions in terms of importation of diesel. If you can buy from Noxem or Noik, I'm not sure about them, but that will come in handy in terms of having the stores to continue opening. I also want to bring to your attention, Honorable Chair, the issue of the protein industry. That is your beef, your pork, your chicken, your goat. No supplier is offering these products in SIG. If they are, it is coming at a very charge you in ZIM, because our cost build-up is purely in USD. My second from last submission, Honorable Chair, is that we have been told that the TFF through the RBZ, they are talking of around 20 to 30% for a 270-day money. My little miss, I think that is very expensive. We are approaching our mother. Imagine, Honorable Chair, if we didn't have retail sector and wholesale sector, how are we launching our CV as a country? As a patriotic company, as a patriotic sector, we are recommending that we take this seriously. The more the branches we are closing, how are we going to trade? If you have to go to informal sector right now, you can see the big disparity of the products that are being sold in informal sector versus formal. But the compliment that I would like to give to the government is the stability that we have at the present moment. So my recommendation, Honorable Chair, will be the same things that you do in mining sector, where you come up with interventions for the coal miners, for the gold miners, for the lithium miners. Can you not get a specific funding which is affordable? We are not fly-by-night business people, which is affordable, and I would recommend maybe 10% per annum. If a bank is lending at 16, 17%, I believe our honorable government can afford to give us 10% funding. And there's an honorable member who highlighted the issue of doing the test base. If we are to get funding, Honorable Chair, and I can guarantee you we can get immediate results from this industry. So TFF is quite expensive. The other recommendation, Honorable Chair, how about getting one license through the Ministry of Industry and Trade? Instead of me to go to EMA, you need to apply for a license through EMA, you need to go and apply a license through local government. How about getting one-stop shop license, one license called retail license that we can apply through the government, which encompasses all the different heads that we have. Currently, Honorable Chair, there are no incentives to open a retail store. We recently opened a store in Greenfields, a beautiful store. That store costed us close to 2 million, just to open. But if I were to tell you the taxes that we need to pay to bring in equipment from different countries, they are just outside of our mind. So my suggestion would be, if we can come up with incentives to open new stores. We currently employ close to 2,500 employees. Just imagine if we had to open another 2 or 3 stores in a year after getting incentives. One of the incentives that I would recommend, Honorable Chair, is on power generation. Right now, I can tell you it will cost you not less than $100,000 just to set up a solar plant. Before you can buy a battery, before you can buy a solar panel, you need to go through various departments to apply for a power generation. One is to say we are coming up with an intervention to generate more power, but you're actually being asked to pay more money. So as a recommendation, Chair, I would recommend to your committee if some of the requirements, especially on power generation, be set aside or be reviewed. From my side, I would say those are my submissions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Any other submissions before we can manage our time?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will not take my full 4 minutes because my colleague here from SPA has done justice to the issues that I was going to raise. Safe to say that I absolutely agree on eliminating the duplications and multiplicity of licenses by establishing a one-stop shop, the same way that has been done through ZIDA. We would appreciate consideration of a one-stop shop that allows us to take care of our multiple retail licenses. On utilities, Honorable Chair, power remains unsustainably costly, and to the extent that, as my colleague alluded to, we are running supermarkets primarily on generator power, due to the unavailability of power in the various localities where we operate from. And when it does come, it is unsustainably high. In addition to that, service provision is almost unavailable to the extent that we need private arrangements for waste management across our multiple supermarkets countrywide. We need to take care of our own general service provision, which is the purview of local authorities, making it very difficult to operate in a place where we continue to pay high rates towards local authorities, but are unable to access the services provided therein. Property costs also remain unsustainably high, making it very difficult to commercially lease facilities, which makes it a constraint in terms of extending or maintaining our store footprint across the various communities where we generally operate from. We are a business that runs close to 70 supermarkets countrywide, and the various communities we serve are actually clamoring for us to remain in those communities. Honorable Chair, you may have come across information that we are closing a facility in Tumbane in Blawayo, that is okay in Tumbane, where we have been in operation for close to 35 years. And the reason is the generally high cost of doing business that is extremely unsustainable and no longer justifies our presence in that community. When we notified the landlord and the general community of that closure, we have been receiving correspondence and clamors for us to reconsider that position, because it remains almost the only conduit where you can trade in local currency, as well as a conduit for local farmers and local producers to sell their primary agricultural produce via our supermarket. So our cry is for the cost of doing business and the ease of doing business to be reconsidered. Utilities, property costs, and power remain issues that are incredibly unsustainable for our businesses going forward. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much. 3 minutes for President.
Elaborate that on make a say. So I'm saying with regards to MTT, I want to elaborate that with numbers. If I pay $2 million to a supplier in SIG, if I pay $2 million SIG to a supplier, that will translate to about 50,000 SIG, including our MTT and charges. If you convert that at bank rate, it's about 7.9 to 2,000 USD. So this sector doesn't make that lots of profit. So I'm in support of CZR and CZI for the total removal of IMTT. So that's the biggest cost which is making these businesses suffer. Because informal sector has always been there, but the formal sector has been surviving. But when the checks were introduced, I think that's when we started experiencing difficulties in the operating environment. Also, the supply chain model needs to be reviewed. Presently, it is the retailer who is funding the supply chain model, of which the correct way should be the manufacturer funding down to the retailer. Maybe also assist us as authorities to make that review time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable
Thank you so much. I think you for the sake of time. Let me give this opportunity to the honorable members. This is the submission by CZR, so it's CZR together with their constituent members. So if there are any points of clarification that honorable members may want or cash Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to get on the issue of power. It seems most of the stakeholders in Yaya are trying the issue of power supply. And in particular, I took note from SPA's presentation that we want to be doing in excess of 180,000 liters of diesel, which amounts to about 120,000 USD. Right now, this committee and government is also seized with the issue of power generation to make it easy for solar power generation. For starters, duty-free input on solar components that are needed to generate solar energy. All these are there to mitigate these challenges that we are experiencing now in order for you to set up a power plant. Imagine if 120,000 or so USD are spending on diesel alone, and yet this issue was cutting carbon emissions, mining generators, all the stakeholders in here mining generators. So if we cut down that and assist, which is what the government is doing, and I'm sure through this committee, the next time we meet you, we have an updated plan on how we're going to go about making it easy for retailers and all to make it cheaper, even more cheaper for you, for one to invest in solar energy. But with these amounts that SPA mentioned, and others are spending more than that, I'm sure it is very wise for now, considering caliber leverage is dead limit. It is very wise to invest in green energy. It's expensive when you begin, but in the long run it works out cheaper. So I'm sure we should really take that into account. Just give it time until we meet again. Most probably we will have a conclusive update on duty-free imports of solar components, and also how best as a committee we can assist each other in producing solar energy at a cheaper cost. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mafumo. Honorable Cho.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask my question on feedback from constituencies. Our members are raising that some of the big supermarkets actually import clothes on the basis of overweight management. And from the presentations, I don't get any justification to that. They are saying that some structures, the executive structures that are actually here now, they become unbearable for businesses, such that the cost of running such boards, for example, will be too much. And my expectation coming out of this discussion is maybe real commitment from you to say we are also taking action, if that is true. Because I think they are both being circulated even on social media, both to do with supermarkets like Bouquets and others. They are actually being said that too heavy for the kind of business they are running, to the extent that you can't make profit, and closing is only the option left. And secondly, we have in our constituencies manufacturers that are supplying goods to various retailers. Example being like sugar. You find that the manufacturer of sugar will be running a promotion to bigger supermarkets like the Bouquets, the Pick and Pay, only 100% supply on seed. And that product is delivered to the doorstep at the cost of the manufacturer. But what you can see is the retailers are not even paying back, to the extent that the manufacturer will then decide to cut supply on the basis of non-payment. What does that see? What are you doing with that kind of thing? If anything, can that be the reason why maybe an upload or the manufacturer who is paid cost to manufacture a product, who is delivered that product to the doorstep to sell before you even pay that manufacturer?
Thank you, Honorable Cho. Yes, Honorable Yamroto.
Thank you, Chair. I have two questions. There has been a release by Zimbabwe recently on smart products. How is this affecting your businesses? Also, on Spark, you said you have some products where you buy exclusively from foreign currency. How do they do this? So, is that business giving you foreign currency? Or where do you get foreign currency?
Thank you. Yes. Honorable Majana.
Thank you very much, Chair. My contribution is directed to Dr. Mutasho. Number one, he did mention that it would be good to emulate what is happening all the advantages of projecting what is happening in Tanzania. And then number two, Dr. Mtashi also mentioned on strategies to bring back culture of banking. He did elaborate on the issue of IMTT, which was emphasized by nearly every speaker. But other strategies, maybe if you can enlighten us on other strategies to bring back the recommendations on bringing back the culture of banking. And then we thank him for the list, a comprehensive list, which has given us on the statutory instrument which needs to be reviewed on compliance. If that can be shared, that will help us. And then lastly, directed to the presenter from N. Richards, he did mention the reduction of tax years, and the issue of identity mentioned by everyone was also elaborated by him. Can you also be specific on the issue of the tax years, which needs to be removed? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mtashi. I give you the opportunity to respond. Maybe I can add one or two. We have noted that some of the retailers, they seem to be well stocked. At the time when I'm talking about the shelves that are getting empty for other players, there seem to be some players whose shelves are full. Why is there that it is right? And in line with that, can I also say your sector is just failing to adapt to competition? The competition is there, and I think it's not the first time we have this environment that I'm talking about. And you seem to be crying this time around. Is it a case of your sector just failing to adapt to competition is coming from the informal sector? And on the funding part, where your sector is failing now to access money from banks, and you are going to the target facility, which is coming from the RBZ, and there's now this proposal of 10%. I think the 10% will create an opportunity for money creation. I think it will give us problems. So I don't know if the targeted facility may need some fine-tuning. Maybe you can also assist us on that. And then we have heard of manufacturers who are only accepting USD. I don't know if your association can also assist us with some of the manufacturers. I think it will assist the honorable members as we try to do our oversight in the problem identification. So I give it to you to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Maybe I may start from your responses. The issue of the sector failing to adapt to competition has been quite eloquently articulated across various platforms. However, what we believe is that having taken the lead as a formalized players to accept the SIG, which we continue to do for those that are operational, which is a national operation, which is following the law of the exchange of the country. It would also then be very important if then we begin to see some challenges arising from the SEM and be able to look at them in the eye and come up with some sort of recommendations just like improvement. What we simply say is that competition is very good and very necessary, especially for the consumers. But it is going to be fair competition, it's going to be just. We need to compete from the same consumers. But generally, like I highlighted, I think we saw a sort of an enforced exchange that was viewed by the market, unfortunately, is sort of some price control that they may continue to affect and impact on the formalized players. But we are happy that the government through the Reserve Bank has come up with a number of interventions. For example, I would also like to answer the issue of promotion of banking culture. We government recently in the monetary policy statement widened the prepaid investment cards, payment system where, for example, if you are allowed to pay 500,000, you now can pay 1 million. I think that is bringing people back to electronic transacting, and the electronic transactions can be traced. That is the beauty about electronic transactions. Unlike somebody who goes out of the country with cash, sometimes it can be very difficult to trace that and be able to account for that. And the issue of manufacturers charging or accepting only USD, the structure of the supply chain currently is some, not all, but some manufacturers prefer to be paid 80% in USD and 15 to 20% in ZiG, and possibly indicating that they're also trying to reduce their exposure to the huge stocks of ZiG that they may have at any different time, because their cost centers are also dollarized. So the formalized retail and wholesale sector is the sector that is largely accepted with ZiG. Unfortunately, it is now surrounded by a number of cost centers that are dollarized. I mentioned the issue of shop rentals, the issue of 55% of what is paid in USD, and also the issue of some stocks that procured exclusively in USD. Or if somebody accepts the ZiG, there is a premium that is levied on the price that then affects the final price in the shop. And the issue of other shops that are well stocked, you see, the retail and wholesale sector currently is quite diverse with different models. And I believe this one is up to the members to explain to the community why they may find themselves in that particular situation. But I should actually highlight to the committee for that. Those that are seemingly doing well are actually not doing well. We are quite aware that some have actually been struggling to pay salaries since December. So if somebody struggles to pay salaries for a month or two, it may not actually indicate that they're doing well. So I believe that as a committee, it is also my submission through the chair that we could possibly go on the ground to the tour, visit some of these issue of poor management, I think in the presentation I took note of it in my submission to the chair. I also indicated that if the good players that are poorly managing themselves, and probably as the honorable member has indicated that after having need to survive, I think they should also be able to handle themselves. But safe to say, it is also very critical for the committee to observe that could it also be a case of that probably and possibly all the established grants have just started struggling at the same time. If it is mismanagement, would they all of them at the same time mismanage themselves out of business? So I think that is also another very pertinent question, that in looking at these issues, it would also be very critical to interrogate such areas as well. I would also leave this discussion over to talk about essentially also other questions that we directed to them.
Yeah, thank you so much. Today is the planning sitting day, so we are left with a few minutes, or I think any other change should just be 1 or 2 minutes. I don't know. If you wanted to say 1 or 2, especially that one of our honorable members, specifically.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Speculation on the social and mainstream media has been quite rife, and there have been several representations, most of which are not based on facts. I would like to believe, Honorable Chair, that being a company that is listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and regulated by more than one regulator, with various structures put in place to safeguard the interests of shareholders, there are several ways of establishing the true state or the true facts around the size of the board of directors, around the level of the governance and leadership structures within the business. Suffice to say that our memorandum and articles of association, which are a public document and publicly available, set or stipulate the numbers of effective governance at effective leadership level, which are publicly available, publicly disclosed through our annual reports that are also available on our website. I actually have a few that I can make available, and these will show the changes in leadership that have happened for the last 20 years or more, and will put to rest the matters that have been raised by the Honorable Committee.
Thank you so much. I think Dr. Tash, let me transition to the other stakeholders. Salem, from Mohammed Musa. Yes, and, I'm sure most of the issues have been said. If you can treat the critical issues.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, members. It's Salim from Mohammed Musa Wholesalers. Zimbabwe's retail sector, once dominated by robust supermarket chains, is facing an existential crisis. There are quite a few factors. One of them is currency reforms and the rise of dollarization, as well as the liquidity crisis. Second one is informal market and black market dynamics. The third one is the role of monetary policy and market responsiveness. Now, the path to the recovery, restoring retail stability. One of them is currency stabilization, strengthening the formal retail channel, combating smuggling, promoting local production, liquidity crisis, and availability of consistent electricity. INTT and cost of doing business in terms of compliance. Zimbabwe's retail sector is at critical juncture. The struggles of formal businesses reflect broader economic challenges that require urgent and coordinated action. By addressing the underlying issues of currency instability, informal market dominance, and regional trade imbalances, Zimbabwe can restore the stability of its retail and pave way for the sustainable economic recovery. The future of the nation's economy depends on the resilience and vitality of its retail sector, making this a priority for policymakers, business, and society as a whole. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, I'm sure the issues that have been raised are the issues that the government stakeholders. Let me transition to Consumer Protection Commission, and then I will finish off cross-border swing. Consumer Protection Commission.
The ministry, one of the things that we realize in our work is that there is the issue of current volatility, which is really affecting all our businesses and suppliers. We also realize there is the issue of liquidity constraints, particularly on the side of foreign currencies. I suppose one would also want to observe the fact that our local currency is not commonly available, particularly for minor transactions, particularly when it comes to things such as change and so forth. We also observe some supply chain disruptions, which of course has already been noted by other members. That these supply chain disruptions are starting to affect even medium and small businesses also. I suppose we have been paying attention more about
I'm sure you can see that there's a lot of convergence in the issues.
Sure, it's okay. All protocols observed. I think first of all, let me underscore the critical role that is played by the retail in the whole sector in the economy. I think given the direct link that the retail sector has with the consumer, I think any shock that happens to the retail sector is worrisome to the consumers because it directly affects what you are going to consume, the choices that you have, the quality of the product that you are going to consume. So what we've been witnessing of late, it has been worrisome. So let me just highlight the key points that we've noted from the interactions we've been having with both the consumers, the some manufacturers and the retailers. So I think the first thing, I think most of it has been mentioned, it has to do with a level playing field that we've noted. I think we have noticed that the formal business sector, they get to compete with the informal sector, whilst those informal sector, they will evade in tax. So I want to put I think it has been highlighted, I think we articulated on that. And then the other issue which we noted, I think was on the formal sector when they were forced to accept the local currency at a stipulated rate. And then by the time when they will need to replenish the stock, they were not able to find more stock. I think that's an issue which we noted, which we think we will highlight in our recommendations. The high cost of doing business, it was mentioned, it was overemphasized a lot of it. And maybe to underscore on the issue of counterfeits, what we have noted, I think we assist with that issue as Consumer Council of Zimbabwe. Those are causing, it's a serious challenge, not only causing health threats to the consumers, but also even on the business side, because mostly the products that are being smuggled, they are counterfeits. Most counterfeit products are being found on the informal sector. So I think it's one of the issues which we need to address, and the issue of liquidity. So let me just rush straight to the opportunities that I think we have to take note of, and I think the retail and whole sector can maximize on that. And firstly, I think it was on the introduction of the recently introduced policies from the monetary policy statement which was pronounced last week, and also the sometime in January, the fiscal policy announcement that we made. I think the introduction of the consumptive tax in the informal sector and the anti-smuggling campaign that is currently ongoing. Also, when the Reserve Bank made it mandatory for all businesses to have POS, point of sale machines. I think all these things, I think they are creating playing field for you. I think we give credit to the monetary and fiscal authorities for that. That's an opportunity that we can maximize on. Then on the reduction also of bank charges, I think we've noticed of late that transactions for less than $5 or less, they now do not charge cash. That's a positive move, and we are proud of that as citizens. And I think retail and supermarkets, and also you have to maximize on that. And so what are we proposing? So I think if we look at the macroeconomic framework that we have, I think they've laid up all what we need. Mostly, most of the policies that they address, most of the challenges that we've been talking about. And now the question remains on the implementation part of it. Are we going to implement this consistently? I think this is the challenge that we've always been encountering. We can have good policy proposal measures, and then in the end, implementation of it is a real challenge. So I think that's the question that needs to be Then I think on the market distortion, I think that issue it has been overemphasized, and I need to underscore it again. As long as there is some market distortion, there will always be arbitrage. And the formal business will continue to be undermined by the formal, as long as we have this arbitrage, distortion, market distortion. And I think that cutting off of that simple announcement, I think it tried to address to make it more willing by willing seller. But I think more needs to be done on that. Then when addressing the issue of product orders or product cost and corruption, I think that one is also another key issue. Most of the products that are competing with this, I'm sure they've been they're coming through this product cost. So I think the first thing, if we cannot address our border costs, it will remain a challenge. We will just talk about the price. You won't bring the results. Right. And finally, I think I want to challenge the retailers and the wholesalers again. I think they've been agile to adapt to the new economic realities. In as much as we say we have been trying to adjust our business structure, and I believe from what we've been noticing in some sentiments, of course there needs to be a start based on evidence. But I think you need to adjust to the new economic realities so that you reduce your cost. I won't mention on the issue of counterfeits, but I wanted to encourage the business to work with us. We are working on we've developed a technology with our technology partner to address issues of counterfeits. So we are working, there are some companies which we are working with. So we wanted to invite companies that are facing those challenges with counterfeits to join us so that we work together